Hey guys, just one sec, okay? I'm just cleaning up here because Zoom was, hang on just a sec, okay? Oh, here it is. Oh, good. Okay. All right. Wow. There's a lot of people here. Actually, there was only one of the students requested this session, but there's a whole bunch of you here, so that's fantastic. Oh, I haven't switched on my camera. Hang on just a sec. Wow, there's more people here in this informal session than there were in the class this afternoon. This is the catch-up circle this afternoon at 1 p.m. So that's pretty cool. This is CS2C, isn't it? Because the reason the first time it didn't work was because I think I clicked on a link for CS2A, and so this meeting hopefully is live and it is being recorded. Yes, it is being recorded. Well, first of all, thank you all. Thank you all for attending class and coming to this meeting. And also, if possible, in general, in my Zoom sessions, we try to have our cameras on, and you know, everybody is. If you don't, especially don't want to have a camera on, you could email me or message me, and then we'll try and work around it. You know, provide some kind of come up with some kind of a proxy to help you participate while our conversations are going on. But otherwise, I think we're off to a great start here, and a lot of students in CS2C. Strangely, not any of you. Hang on just a sec. Wow, so that means we have, you know, first I didn't realize that we had this many students who hadn't done my 2B, because if I look at the roster, most of the students were from my CS2B. And so I thought there was only a couple of students, and there's Sachi. She was the one who asked for this email, for this session. Sachi or Sashi? Sakshi, I see a Sakshi here, S-A-K-S-H-I, but the person who requested this meeting in the first place was S-A-C-H-I, and that person is not here. Well, hopefully they can watch the video and and get to know. Well, here's the thing. I think that from what I've heard from other students, getting comfortable with the Quest system. This is the system that basically provides you a way to upload your code, have it tested, get feedback from the system, and with information on where your code is broken and things like that, so you can fix it and resubmit and get points and towards your grade. That is reasonably easy to get used to. However, I think that people who are just jumping into 2C instead of doing the 2A path may feel a little panicky, because you have to learn apparently a complex system and then start to learn the complex aspects of C++. It's not a big deal, because learning the system is probably just a few minutes. In fact, it is going to be so easy that I think I can walk one of you through the very first blue quest, okay? And I'm happy to do that for 2C students, because I wouldn't do that for 2A students, because, well, maybe I would do that because the first quest is really trivial. So how about this, okay? One of you, like we do in CS2A, one of you should pick up the screen and share the screen, okay? Share the screen, and hopefully, well, first of all, before we do that, can I see a show of hands or something? Please don't respond in chat, okay? Because I don't look at the chat window. Let me also maximize this window, because as it is, the icons are pretty small, okay? And I have gallery view, so I can see all of you. So I want to see a show of hands as to how many of you are doing this for just a transcript requirement, so that you have you know, C++ ABC checked off in order to go on to your next level course. Or if you are doing it out of interest for C++, meaning that, you know, you want to learn some intricate things about C++ that will actually set you up to create some really kick-ass products, right? I can guarantee that if you put in the hours required for this course, by the end of this quarter, you will be in a position to actually create something you will be totally proud of, and you know, and people will use and tell you this is actually a fantastic product. How did you come up with this? How did you create this? And they might look at it and say, wow, you know, I can't even understand this. And actually, they can understand it if they put in a little bit of effort. But that's what it looks like for most outsiders that I can see. When they look at C++ or computer science, they think that it's, oh my gosh, this is like a mystic land, or there's so many things here that I don't understand. There's syntax and jargon and pointers and too many things, okay? And so many things that it kind of overwhelms most people and makes them feel that programming is not in their life. That is actually completely mistaken notion to have. And so I'm happy to walk you through the very first quest, so you are comfortable and you can work through these on your own. The 2A quests are going to be very simple. 2 days. Simple meaning it'll take you 2 days to finish, assuming that you have actually done 2A and 2B or their equivalents elsewhere. Now, there are a lot of students in the past who have come into 2C directly due to, I don't know, prereq waivers, or having got past these courses at maybe a kind instructor, okay? A kind-hearted instructor for 2A and 2B. Not that I'm not kind, okay? You'll find that I'm actually very kind. I'm very, you know, I'm happy to work with you all the way to make you succeed, because at the end of the day, that's what I want. Because you know, otherwise, why would I take, you know, 1 hour out of my time to talk to you at 7 p.m. right? So I want you to succeed, because your success actually gives me a great deal of happiness. Okay, and so I want you to, and I'll be happy to stick with you and make sure you get there if you put in the work required. Okay, and this is going to be a hard course, meaning that you cannot come to it once in a while. You know, check in and check out like a hotel. You can't say that, you know, a week has got 5 working days, 2 days off. You know, that day and Sunday, social time. My coursework doesn't cut into it, and then I have 5 days, and then I have. By the way, how many of you are enrolled in 20 credits or 20 units or more? Right, 20 units or more. Please raise your hand. No. Okay, Chaitra or Chitra? How do you pronounce your name?
My name is Chaitra. Also, quick question. I'm in CS2A. Am I not supposed to be here right now? Because I got the email for the Zoom link.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great. That is why.
Yes.
Okay, now it made, yeah, okay. All right, I'm so glad to hear that. I am so glad to hear you say that. Because, I was worried that, oh my gosh, there's so many students who didn't do my 2B and they're here in 2C. How are they going to survive? Because if you hadn't done 2A and 2B and you're in 2C, you will be totally out of your depth. And so I'm glad that there's a whole bunch of 2A students. Can you please raise your hand so I know who's in 2A and who's in 2C? This is 2A,
yeah,
right?
I'm in 2A too.
Yeah,
F02A, yeah, F002A.
Fantastic. All right, fantastic. Okay, so this is what we'll do. Among the students who are enrolled in 2A, Athena and Changwen, you can lower your hands, because otherwise, yeah, okay, great. So what was I saying? Yeah. Of the ones that are doing 2A, how many of you are familiar with what is called an IDE, Integrated Development Environment? Maybe, you know, programs like like editors like Eclipse, Xcode, VS Code, those kinds of things. They're basically just really fancy editors. You've used editors like Microsoft Word and all, right? Yeah. Hey, Chaitra, you got a question?
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, go ahead. No, you just raised your hand.
No, I was raising my hand for the IDE, like who has been familiar with it.
Oh, I
that's
see.
all.
Okay, so all right, so great. So maybe you can be a volunteer today, right? And then also, some of you who are not yet familiar with using IDEs, VS Code, VS Xcode, and things like that, you should take some time this week to interact, connect with people who already know, and then we have lots and lots of resources in the STEM Center. People in the STEM Center know how to use these IDEs, and they are willing to sit with you and help you understand the IDEs and also how to use them for debugging and so on and so forth. Okay, it's an immensely useful skill, and it helps to master that in the first few weeks. CS2A, the first week is really concerned with data representation. We'll talk about that on Thursday. Okay, which is basically, you know, bits and bytes and how you transform from one form to another and things like that. Pretty easy stuff. But at the same time, I'd like for you to also start questing, which basically questing is when you're cutting C++ code. So you also write C++ programs and get the feel of it. I was going somewhere with, you know, IDEs. I don't know, maybe that will come to me later. So here's my plan. What we'll do is, Chaitra, if you're ready, take the screen and what editor are you going to use? VS Code or Xcode or?
I can use Xcode.
Yeah, anything,
okay?
anything you like. Well, not me. You got to ask the other. Hands up. You have Mac or Windows people, okay? So Windows people, hands up. Windows people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mac people. Okay, so roughly equal number, I think, you know, plus or minus 1. What we'll do is we'll just use, did you say Xcode, Chaitra?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll
Yes.
use Xcode, which is geared for Mac. However, Windows people, what you will do is download something called VS Code, okay? That's Visual Studio Code. Don't download the entire VS Code package, you know, the Visual Studio Code package, okay? Because that contains a compiler and a whole lot of stuff, and it takes ages to download, and it's a real pain in the ass to set up too, okay? So don't download VS Code. There's tutorials on it, 100,000 tutorials on YouTube. In fact, past CS2A students also produced tutorials, video tutorials on how to use VS Code, and it's on our channel, Nonlinear Media, on YouTube. You go there. Ages ago, some students, right, posted tutorials on how to use VS Code. But you don't have to go there. You can just go to YouTube and type, I want to use VS Code, and you'll see 100 different videos, okay? Downloading, installing, and getting started with your first program. All of that on YouTube already. So, but we won't go into that. You can do that on your own time, and you can chime in the Reddit and so on. Where I was going with that was, if you're doing more than, if you're doing 20 units or more, this course, CS2C, not 2A, okay? Even in 2A, you can check in and check out. Like Tuesday and Thursday, lecture days, and then one day for assignment, and I'll come back. You will find that you're very quickly falling back. CS2C, there is no way that's going to work. Okay, so if you say that, you know, off the 7 days in a week, I'm going to take 3 days to think about CS2C and C++ programming. This is not the 2A students, okay, T2C. Then you're basically sunk. Unless you, in your mind, are not going for the grade, but you're just going for the pass, okay? That is okay for a pass. If you just want to pass CS2C, you can think about CS2C and programming for about 3 days. A week, meaning not the whole day, but you got to be coding at least a couple of hours each day, mostly, but you have to be thinking about it in the back of your head almost all the time. That's not for the rest of your life, but you'll find it the rest of your life, actually. But you just have to say for the next 3 months. In fact, you should say just the next 6 weeks, okay? Not even the 3 months, 6 weeks. For the next 6 weeks, just make a commitment that you are going to code every single day for 2 hours, even though many days at the end of the 2 hours, you would not have made any progress at all. Okay, now this is a feeling that we have to get used to. Many people will look at failure and then repeated failures 4 or 5 days in a row, and they say, well, okay, obviously this is not, I'm not cut out for it. Okay, this is not me. I got to go somewhere else. Try something else. Okay, and that's not right, because people who do that will keep try something else, jump from one to another, and they may never find it. You got to get over that hump, right, where it gets more and more difficult, and then that's the point where you shouldn't switch. Stick with it, and then you'll see that it gets easier. Okay, until the next learning curve kicks in. So that's the way learning usually progresses, I find. So if you are thinking about programming all the time for the next 6 weeks, you'll find that it gets immensely easier. Just both coming back to coding and getting through your assignments, as well as generally thinking about programming all the time, or even thinking about life problems and everything you encounter with a programmatic mindset. The reason I say that is because we're all used to solving problems in life in a non-algorithmic. That's what we're used to, right? From childhood, we know how to solve problems. Well, we know how to try to solve problems using a non-algorithmic technique. Even in math, if you look at it, proofs, right? They're all analytical proofs, bam, 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 like that. But the computational way, the computer science way of doing these things is different, because the algorithmic proof is different from the normal proof. The algorithmic way of solving a problem is iterative, meaning that you never get to the end in one step like you do in a math proof, right? You have to go iteratively. Each step takes you one little bit closer to the solution. Now, this is a feeling that many people are not used to when they come into computer science first. So when they see these little progression, right, improvements in their own abilities, many of these small improvements are not even perceptible. For beginners, they have actually made an improvement in their understanding of the subject, but it is not perceptible. You know, that is something really strange. And I was surprised to know that first, because I could tell that a student had actually advanced when I talked to them, right? This is not now. Back in the day when I was lecturing in, mostly off Zoom in face-to-face on campus, I would talk to students and have one-on-one office hours and things like that. And I could tell that the student had actually advanced and understood that concept properly, but they themselves didn't know that. They thought, when I asked them, they say, no, I'm exactly in the same place. I don't know that. And then I have to say, no, you didn't know this, 5 days ago. Now you know that, right? And so these things, the reason I'm saying that is because the progress that you make is invisible to you, which is dangerous, because we tend to think that we're not making progress, whereas the progress has been made. Some neurons have been rewired in your brain, okay, but there's not a conscious awareness. So the thing we have to do is just persevere and say, I'm going to keep trying this 5 days. No progress at all. This quest I've been stymied by this quest. I've made no progress, and all my classmates have moved on, and I'm basically sunk, right? I'm going to fail this class, or I'm not going to make, right? And the problem there is that they are not used to that feeling, right? And you have to get used to that feeling, and the only way you can get used to that feeling is by feeling it repeatedly. So you have to try to code every single day, most day, and write it in a notebook, right? Or the top of your, stick it on top of your screen, saying, there's 90% chance that I'm going to go to bed today having done nothing at all, no progress, okay? So you're already set up. So even if I didn't do anything, you can sleep happily, okay? And you'll find that at the end of a week, the 90% has changed to 60%, right? And slowly that improves. And then you'll feel totally confident, right? And any problem you have, you'll say, well, let me pull out my computer and see if I can code up a solution, okay? And because you'll be so comfortable, you'll be thinking in C++, thinking in algorithms. So it's a new way of solving problems, which is different from the traditional way of solving problems. Well, it's been around for a long time, ancient civilizations also, right? But I'm saying that, in C++ and the modern programming languages, it's a new way, and you have to totally get used to this feeling of frustration, and also not giving up on yourself when you fail, because that is the only thing I can guarantee. The only thing I can guarantee, I cannot guarantee your success, although I'm going to try very hard to make you succeed. But the only thing I can guarantee is that most of you will fail for the first couple of weeks. not the end of the class, okay? First couple of weeks, you're going to be facing a lot of different areas where you can't make any progress. And I don't want you to be thrown off by that and leave the class. So you should say, well, that's part of the learning, right? And I have to do that. If my fingers aren't moving like that, well, I keep trying that again and again. One day, suddenly I just hit all the notes at the right time, right? So keep at it. And that is the number one reason why students have dropped off in the past, saying that CS is not for me. CS is for everybody because it's just a way of thinking. It's a new way of thinking that you haven't been used to before, the algorithmic way of solving problems. And it is
Hold on, Professor.
Yeah.
Can you hear him?
Yeah. Hey, Jacob or Adrian? Hey, by the way, Jacob, Bella, Bao, and Athena, you should also consider switching on your cameras, okay? Yu Yang and Musa also, I think, and Hirsch. A bunch of you haven't switched on your cameras. The reason I say that is because these are all recorded, and we will put them on YouTube. If you don't want it to be on YouTube, you can ask me. I will come up, like I said before, we'll come up with a way. But the reason it's on YouTube is because many students actually find this beneficial, right? They can go and look up. Lectures should not be cut, but in case you have to cut, students actually do look up these lectures, recorded lectures. And in the recording, if there is a nice matrix of colorful pictures and smiley, beautiful faces, then people will click on the recording and watch it, right? There's a whole bunch of black rectangles with text on it. Nobody's going to click on that on that video, right? So I think it'll also help other students if you have your camera on, especially since all of you look so good. I think it's good if we make sure that we have good presentation to encourage more students to actually watch the video and learn. Okay, yeah, I think that's all I have to say in terms of leading in to the class. I don't want to go into data representation issues because I know there's a bunch of CS2C students, and this is supposed to be a CS2C class, in fact, open to CS2A to attend. So data representation we'll talk about on Thursday, but it doesn't mean you have to wait until Thursday because typically I have 2 lectures set apart for data representation. The first 2 lectures of every single one of my quarters, I do data representation for CS2A and 1A when I teach it. However, the last year, I think Foothill has come up with this new thing called, the staff development days or professional development days or things like that. So Monday and Tuesday, today and tomorrow, they're supposed to be professional development days. And that means they have a bunch of talks, and not all the talks will be interesting to all people, but still, that day is wasted because students are given that day off. And that, think about it, we only have 12 weeks to cover some really, really hard material. And of the 12 weeks, we got 1 day gone for Juneteenth, and 2 more days for flex professional development. 3 days gone of the first week, 2 days of the first week. That's almost a whole week for most students. And so we're saying, we're not going to reduce the amount of material you got to learn, but you got to learn it in 11 weeks now, not in 12 weeks. Okay, so I think it's really unfair on students, basically asking you to learn more. So don't put it off, okay? Data representation is hard if you haven't done it before. Not hard, okay? It's new. It is a new way of looking at how you store stuff. And start reading module 0 already. Do the data representation quiz before you come to class on Thursday, because on Thursday, 2A students, we will actually do hard data representation problems in class, right? One of you can take the screen. It won't be a coding window with IDs and so on and so forth. It'll actually be a whiteboard. And on that whiteboard, we'll basically, scribble the problem and solve it and things like that. So we'll do it like that. So data representation, start working on that already. We won't talk about that here for CS2C. So let's get on board the questing system. If Chaitra, you can pick up the screen and share it, and we'll go into Xcode. And either Chaitra or we will talk through some of this stuff. So when you fire up Xcode, hang on just a sec. Yeah, make it bigger. I think. Yeah, I think I can read all the fonts here, even the smallest. Maybe I should change my glasses anyway. No, I can read it, right? If it gets hard, if it gets hard, I'll switch glasses. Okay, all right. So what Chaitra's got here is she's creating a brand new project. Where's this music coming from? Is it from here?
I'm at Panera. Maybe I shouldn't be the person to do this because I am at
That's
Panera.
okay. All right.
So there's background
That's
music.
okay. That's good. That's good. All right. I just wanted to know where it's coming from. Actually, no, leave it on because it feels like a movie with some background music. So that's very cool. All right. So leave it on. So when actually hit cancel. We'll go from All right. So when you get into your IDE, this is what it's going to look like. Xcode. If you're on a Mac, you can go to Xcode and go to the Xcode menu, File. Go click on File. All right. New. And then you're going to create a new project. Okay, whether it's VS Code or Eclipse or Xcode, this is basically the steps. It's just the menu items will be placed in different places. Okay, that's all you got to look for. VS Code. Every IDE has exactly the same controls. They're all just scattered in different places. You just have to find out where they are, or you can watch YouTube. Okay, so click that. Yes. All right. Now, what we want to do is create what's called a console app. Is there something called a console app here? Oh, by the way, for you, it says, the default is iOS. You want to go to iOS, you want to go to Mac OS, right? We're going to be creating a console app on a Mac operating system. So you click on Mac OS, which Chaitra has done. Now here, we want to create a console app. Is there something called a console app? It's a long time.
Yeah, I'm looking. I don't think so.
Oh, command line tool.
Okay.
Oh, they changed the name. It's called command line tool now. Yeah, click that. Yeah. Go double click, yeah. And then you can say, let's just say hello, right? And just say hello. We'll create a first project called hello. Language should be C++, okay? All right, so now it's very important to spend time here because a lot of students in the past have have gotten stuck because they chose a different language like Swift, or they messed up the settings here, and they go into the project and they don't see a CPP file, they don't see what to do, right? Because it's all in Swift in a different language, and they're completely stuck and say, I don't know how to use Xcode. So make sure you got these settings right. The language should be C++. Okay, now let's create next. Click next. Now, as Chaitra and I are doing this, if any of you don't understand anything at all, because what you have to do is imagine in your mind that you are doing the exact same thing that we are doing on screen. Now, you can also do it on your laptop on the side, okay? You can watch what we're doing and you can do it. If you get stuck, that's a very important cue that you should interrupt us and say, no, I don't understand that, or can you tell me, it didn't work for me. Perfect. You can say it didn't work for me. I just tried it. It didn't work for me. The reason I say that is because if you say it didn't work for me now, you can fix it in 10 seconds, because we'll look at it and one of us will say, hey, that's the problem. If you don't get it fixed now and you say, well, it's not working, I'll figure it out later, it won't take you 10 seconds. It'll probably take you a whole hour. Okay, because trying to figure out what the hell is wrong, and then making a trip to the STEM center, or arranging, on Zoom with a tutor and telling them what I did, didn't happen, waiting for a tutor, it's a real pain. And that level of pain is not fitting for such a simple problem like this. Okay, this is a very simple problem, and so just make sure we have this all set up correctly. Now, what are we looking for here? Create git wrap. Okay, yeah, let's create a project. Oh, no, wait. Let's create it on a desktop. Create it on your desktop, because you can delete it later. Or somewhere. I shouldn't have said desktop. You want to create it somewhere where you can delete it later, because it shouldn't be part of your regular, whatever you created and stored in your map. Create. Okay, now here you see. Oh, it's still creating. Yeah. Oh, you must have a lot of stuff on your Mac. It's taking a long time. All right, okay. So here, and it doesn't give you a. Oh yeah, because we haven't created a PPT file. Okay. You know what? It's a long time since I used Xcode that I've even forgotten scripting. Okay. Now, this is your project. It hasn't got anything in it. What we want to do is go inside the project and create a C C++ source code file. C++ source code file is you write in C++ and the compiler is going to take it, translate that into machine code, create a binary package which can be executed, and then it'll give that to you. Okay, so now this is your main.cpp. What does that mean? I'm going to change classes. Okay, hey, give me a second. I'm going to change classes. Is there a star after the C or is it a plus?
It's a C plus.
Wow, that plus is so small. I thought it was a star. So that means it's a C++ file, and it's not showing an extension like main.cpp. That is so strange. Okay, well, anyway, funny thing is, sorry, yeah, you were saying something?
No, sorry, no, continue.
Okay, now here's the funny thing. If you run it, it's gonna run. It works. This is a completely functional program. It's a freebie program that's been given to you by Xcode, right? Xcode, VS Code, Xlib, any of these IDEs you go to, you start your program, you start your IDE and you start a new project, you get this program for free. And this is your first program, and it's a working program. How do you know it's a working program? Click the run button at the top. You know, the triangle, it'll open up a console at the bottom, I think.
It's just taking time.
It is. Is it doing something? No, you didn't click the...
Oh, it's already running.
Oh, it's already running. Oh, yeah, cancel the appointment. Wait.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there you go. All right, okay. It actually ran, and this thing here, where you see the hello world, that is called the console. Now, what that is essentially it is the command line. I don't know if you're familiar with the Windows command line, the DOS command line, and so on, or Unix command line. If you go to the command line and run it, that's your program. Now, if you are interested, I can show you how you can go to a terminal and actually run that program by hand. Okay, so run a program called terminal. Okay, now I'm gonna speak out a couple of Unix commands. You don't have to understand this, but I will tell you what they do without going into detail. Type in cd space. What is the folder name? What is the name of the folder that you created just now? It's hello.
It's just.
I think it's hello.
Yeah, it's hello.
Enter that folder.
I think you have to go to desktop first, and then.
Oh, you're not in the desktop. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now cd to hello. Thank you, Chacha. Yeah. All right. Now you want to see what's inside this folder, and everything in this folder was just created by the two of us in the last 2 minutes. Yeah. Okay. If you do an ls space -l, ls. Okay. ls space -l is a Unix command, Unix or Linux command that says ls space -l.
Oh, -l. Sorry.
Right? That's a command that says list everything in this current directory. ls for list, and -l says list in a long format with permissions and the size and everything. Right? Now it says in this directory there is a directory called subdirectory called hello. So let's get into that directory also. Say cd into this hello. Cd space h and hit tab. It'll autocomplete for you.
Okay.
Oh, enter. Yeah, do ls-l again. Up arrow 2 times, you'll get it. Up arrow 2 times. Enter. All right. Now this is your main.cpp. And where is the binary? All right. Okay. That's the thing I don't like about Xcode. Okay. So in Xcode, when you compile something and build a project, okay, everything is not in one place. In Xcode, it makes a distinction between source files that you create, like CPP files and header files, and derived files, which the compiler creates, object files and executable files. Now, the thing that I don't like about Xcode is that it puts all the derived files somewhere else. Okay, it puts it in some library folder, application folder, and it's a real pain to go and locate it and run it. And we can find it now. I don't want to waste time. We can do it later if you want. However, there is a setting in Xcode preferences. If you go to Xcode, you don't have to do it now. Actually, why don't we do it now? Do we want to do it now? We can change the Xcode preferences so that it saves the derived data right here. Is that okay with you, Chaitra?
Yeah, that's
okay.
right.
Just go to preferences. All right, now where we want to go, I think, is click on locations. Derived data. You don't want default. So relative. I think that's enough. Okay. I think that is enough. Now, yeah. Now compile again. Compile again. Compile your code again. And in the and there's also a setting where you don't have to, get that dialog every single time. Now, if you go back to your terminal and do an ls-l, you should see. Yeah. I'll have to find out where it puts the derived file. Go one step back. One step back. cd space dot dot. cd space dot dot. cd space dot dot. Now do an ls-l. Oh, there you go. Yeah, you did. That's your derived data. All right, it's relative. It's right there. Now go into derived data. cd space derived data. Yeah, you can hit tab, by the way. But if you say cd space D, capital D and tab, the terminal will automatically complete the rest of the word for you. All right, now you do an ls-l. There you go. Now you see this file there called hello. That is the program. That is the program. That is a translation. Now, Chaitra wrote this program that says, it's all in English, right? We can read this program. In the other window, we can read the program. However, that program cannot be read by the computer. It can only be read by the IDE. Now, in order for the CPU, I shouldn't say computer, it can be read by the CPU, right? In order for the CPU to read your program, to execute it, it needs to look at the program, translate it into CPU language. The compiler translates that into CPU language and produces a file called hello. This file hello here has been created by the compiler, and you cannot, if we try to look in the file, you'll just see a whole bunch of junk there. In fact, do a left LEFS space capital H tab. All right. Oh, that's a directory. All right, let's enter the directory. First. cd space hello. cd space hello. And now do an ls again. No, ls space dash l. We want to see what's in there. ls space dash l. ls.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll get into the habit of these commands like ls and then lots of these cd and so on, Unix commands. With a little bit of practice like this, we're doing class, it just become internalized, and then you'll start using it automatically. And what most people do is on the command line or in a terminal is whenever they change it to a directory, automatically the reflex will type an ls, because when they change your directory, they want to see what's in there, right? Unless the directory has a lot of stuff. Okay. Now here, you see another folder called build. Get into the directory called build. cd space build. Yeah. And again, this also you can it'll become reflex for you. Just say D and tab, it'll complete to build, right? So that will also be automatic.
Oh.
Not right now. In the previous directory, when you say cd space build, you can say cd space capital B and tab, it'll just say build for you automatically. It's very useful because many of your project names may be very long. And then you don't want to type out the whole thing. You just type the first letter and tab, it'll complete for you. Okay. Now, now do an ls-l, ls space dash l right here. Oh, there's still more directories in there. Go into products. cd space products. And products. Capital T. That's why it helps to cd space capital P and then tab. It'll complete it for you. cd space capital P tab. Yeah. Right. Go in there. Yeah. Now do an ls-l. Oh wow! Look at that. All right. There's still one more directory to go into. So go into the debug directory. Hit Control L. Go to the top of the screen. Right. Control L will play the screen. Go to the top. Control L.
Wait.
Control L.
Okay, there we go.
Right. Now, products, CD, capital P and tab. No, we're in products already. Do an ls-l here. Oh, debug. Capital D and tab. Capital D and tab. Right. Now let's see what's in here. There you go. Finally, we found it. This is a program the compiler translated from this English-looking code that Chaitra typed. Okay. Now the funny thing is, if you do a left space LEFS space
or FF
SS space hello, don't hit enter yet. H tab.
Oh,
Right now, right now, don't hit enter yet. Look at the size of this file. The size of this file that the compiler created is 80,816 bytes. That is the amount of computer instructions that the CPU has to run in order to print hello world. Whereas in English or in C++, we can see that program is only this much, right? And I bet that is like, I don't know, 60 bytes. Your program is probably 60 bytes in English or C++, but after it gets translated, it becomes this big. Now, this is a program that you can run, but you can look at it and read it like human. So if you do a left, the hello, and hit enter,
oh wow.
that's what it contains. Yeah, it contains a lot of junk, all binary, but we can't understand it, but the CPU can understand it. Okay, the operating system will say, well, that program I can take and load into memory and tell the CPU to start executing. Okay, so now we'll run it, right? Hit Q, get out of it, because we don't want to look in this file. It's useless. Okay, so we want to run this file. So say dot slash, dot / capital H and tab. No, forward slash, not backslash. Yeah, capital H and tab. This is a program. We are going to run it by hand. We're going to run this program by hand, which is exactly what Xcode did. Now hit enter. There you go. Hello world. Yeah. Now go back to your Xcode. Now when Chaitra hit the triangle button, the play button on top, this is what Xcode did. Okay, it went into that directory, that long subdirectory here, and then located that program called hello. Well, basically built that program too. It created the program, went into the directory, and then ran that program. That's how you got the word hello world on screen right here in the console. Okay. Now this console is essentially just a minified version of that terminal that Chaitra had before. It's not the full terminal. In fact, in this terminal, type PWD and hit enter. This is, PWD, present working directory. You see, that's where we are. You see that we started in Chaitra's home directory and then changed directory into desktop, CD desktop. And then from there, we changed to CD drive data, CD hello, CD build, CD prog, CD debug. Now finally, we're in that room, which is inside a room. The room is like the Russian doll, right? You go right in. That's where we are in the debug directory. There we find that nugget, hello, which is compiled by, then we ran it. Now we don't have to do that every single time. It's right here. The Xcode will do it for us, and you see the fine. But in case in larger products, which you build, you want the final binary, okay? And that's where you'll find it, and you can go and ship it, right? When you have the final binary, you can ship it to customers. That's where you'll find it. Okay. Now what we want to do is, now that we've got the program, we want to see if this program can be submitted into the questing system. Yeah. So and that's the bit that most people have find a little bit challenging. So what we'll do now is open an incognito before you start, before you open up Chrome or anything. Is it Safari?
Yes, it's I can go to Chrome.
Private.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's okay. No, this is fine. This is fine. Yeah, private. It's private, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now go to and increase the size. Now go to quest.nonlinearmedia.org. Quest, yeah, it's autocomplete. Okay. Now, is everybody comfortable so far? I want to make sure that everybody is okay so far, because we need to take this easy. And if you the first quest, if you get past the first one, I think everything will just fall into place. Okay, it's just the first one. We're going to do this by hand. And is everybody okay? Are you ready to submit the first quest? This is what you're going to do. Okay, all of you should basically try this. All of you should try exactly the same thing. If you get stuck, this is the time to get unstuck. Okay, now here, enter the password for the very first quest.
In the syllabus, it was a different one. It was, I think, a tiger. But should I put in the one that's?
But you are in CS2A, right? No, you're in CS2C.
No, I'm in 2A.
Yeah. The 2A is a tiger named Pang.
Okay.
Yeah. Where else did you see something else?
It's here. No, sorry.
Tiger name Pang. There you go. All right. Here's where you should find yourself. right? After you enter the password and hit enter, you find it yourself here. Now it says drop your files here and press the button. Now what we want to do is go to your Finder. I think it's your Finder. Yeah, I think it's Finder. Finder. No, terminal. Go to your terminal. Go to your terminal. I think that's the yeah. Now here, you want to get back to CD to tilde. Tilde is, I think, shift and then the leftmost top key, tilde. Yeah. Now CD desktop. Now you're back in your home directory. Now CD desktop, and then CD to I think it's hello, right? Where's your CPP file?
It's in hello. Yes.
Okay. Now do an ls-l.
Oh no.
Oh no, it's another directory there. CD to hello. CD into hello. ls again. You see how I'm always doing ls every time I enter a directory? It's just a reflex. There you go. There's your main.cpp. Now let's look inside main.cpp to see if it actually contains what we coded. Okay, so you can say cat cat space main m and then tab will autocomplete. Right now, hit enter. This is what Chaitra typed into Xcode. Yes. And if you want to convince yourself, you can go into Xcode again, change the file. Right, go into Xcode again. Go into Xcode. Now change it to say instead of saying hello world, change it to hello CS2A. Now save it. Now hit Control S, Command S to save. Save, right? Now go back to your terminal. Go back to your terminal. Don't run it. You don't have to run it. Yeah. Now the up arrow to get the previous command and hit enter again. Right. Now you see it's changed.
Yeah. It's hello CS2A.
Right. Because Xcode is basically editing that file. And this file you can access it in many ways, right? And we access it through the terminal. Xcode edited that file. Now, there was one important point I was trying to make, but I forgot. Hang on. So this is there. Xcode. Hopefully it will come to me. Okay. Now this is the file we want to submit into the questing system to see if our request succeeded or not. That particular quest. Okay. So now this is the terminal. What we'll do is we want to Finder window in this terminal, in this directory, rather than open Finder and then click into many folders and get there. Just say open space dot. Right now, what this is dot is a synonym in Unix, Linux, and Mac operating systems for the current directory. No matter where you are, dot is a current directory. So it's a synonym. Now, open is a Finder command. When you double click on a folder, this is what it does. Now you're doing the double click on a command line by typing it in. So when you say open dot, it says, open a Finder in this directory. That's what it says. Okay. So don't be flummoxed by something that we just did. It came to me. What I was trying to say was the Unix command. If you go to the terminal, I wanted to cat, right? So Chaitra types cat and then name of file. And previously we said less and the name of the file to look in the file. Now we say cat and the name of the file to look in the file. They're all just different ways of looking in the file. What less does is basically show you the file, but if it's a very big file, it'll pause at the end of the page, hit wait for you to hit space, and then it'll show you more. So it'll say less, more. It'll show you more and more step by step on a key. Cat doesn't do that. Okay, when you say cat a file, it'll just dump the whole damn thing. It'll just scroll your window and show you the whole thing all in one go. So but for small files, you can just say cat because it'll just dump it on the screen and you can see it. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say about cat. Now, if you go to your Finder window where you had, there you go, main.cpp. Now we want to drag this file, main.cpp, into that circle. Okay, yeah, we want to drag that file in here. Yeah, you can drag it now. Yeah. Okay. Now, if you click that button, that file would be sent off to my questing system. Okay. And now my question, because it's a very simple quest, your answer is back already. So, by the time you get to CS2B and CS2C, you'll find that your algorithms take a little bit more time. You got to wait for like 20 seconds, 30 seconds to get results. Now it's already back. You click it, you'll see immediately. All right, what happened? Now it says if there are build errors, you can see it. No build errors here. hello world.cpp. Oh, of course.
Because we did hello CS2A. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's called hello underscore world.cpp, right? Not hello.cpp. So go back to your terminal. Go back to your terminal. Actually, we shouldn't do it in the terminal. Let's do it in Xcode so that we don't confuse Xcode. Go to your Xcode. Click on main. Oh no, click on. Oh, where's your source file? All right, now we'll do it in the terminal. Okay, sorry. We'll
Okay.
just do it in the terminal. I mean, what we should have done is at the very beginning when we created the file, we should have called it, hello underscore world.cpp. In fact, I don't remember it giving us a chance to name the file. Did you remember, Chaitra? Did you
No,
give us a
I
chance
don't
to name the
remember
file?
that. I think it did it by
Yeah,
itself.
I just start. Yeah, main.cpp. Yeah, that's a bummer. But we got to figure out how to name the file. But I'll show you how. Right now, what we want to do is do an ls space -l right here. Yeah, you got a main.cpp file. We want to rename that file to hello underscore world.cpp, but don't do the rename because Xcode will get confused. Instead, what we'll do is create a copy of the file and then rename the copy so that Xcode will be, not right. So type cp space main m tab, right? Now say hello underscore world.cpp. Okay, now you've got a file called, enter. Now if you do an ls space -l, you'll see two files there. One of them is going to be called hello, right? And they're both identical. See, they're both 219 bytes, is it? They're both 200, exactly the same. And now we got a file, whatever was there before, we got it in a new file, but it's called hello world.cpp. This file can be sent to the questing system, right? And the questing system will accept that. So send that file to the questing system, drag that in. It'll be there in the Finder window too. So go back to your Finder window, drag that file into your questing system. Hit the X and get back to the circle, right? Now let's see what we get. All right, let's look at the results. Now you see no build errors because it compiled it. It found the file called hello world.cpp, compiled it, but we want to see what the result is. So it says, yes, click on that. It'll show you what happened. All right. Now we said hello CS2A, but what it expected you to say was hello world, which is, which is what Quest wanted. So, and the output is too different. That's why you're not getting any points. So let's go back to your Xcode now. Xcode. Let's try something, okay? Click on one, single click on main, single click on the main, single click on the main.
Here?
Does it let you? Oh, it is actually main.cpp. You can rename it right there. You can call it hello underscore world.cpp, right? Just single click. Now you can rename it. Yeah. Double click on the main now and hello underscore world. It's not going to let you do that because that other thing is still there. Go to your terminal and remove that other one.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's already there. Go to the terminal or your Finder window and delete it.
So remove is just like this?
No, or
Finder window.
Yeah, you can do it in the Finder window.
No,
now you can go to your Xcode and rename it. Now we're doing a whole bunch of things here, not directly connected with solving this first quest. However, I think it's still useful because in the process of solving the first quest, you're inevitably going to run into one or two of these problems. Yeah, most of you will have renaming problems, finding a file where it is, and you'll be lost and you won't be able to submit the file. So I'm happy that we're running into these problems and addressing them on the fly. Are you guys okay with that? Yeah. Rather than come here with a finished product saying, okay, here's hello world.cpp, here's the question type, submit it and see the results. That you won't get anything out of it. So this way, I'm actually happy we're doing this. Now let's change CS2A to world.
There's no comma, so should I just do it like this in this?
Yeah, do it like that because it's not going to succeed. Get rid of the /n also, right? Because we don't want it to be 100% correct. Yeah. Now the reason we're doing that, save it now. You don't even have to compile it. You can compile it to check. You click the triangle, see if it works. It's going to work, obviously, because we didn't make any, right? Well.
Oh yeah, it's right here.
Okay, right? So it didn't print the /n is the new line. It didn't print the new line, but it works. Now, this file we can drag and drop. And the reason I took out the slash n is because 90% of the students I've seen in CS2A before don't manage to ace the very first quest. They manage to ace all the more complicated quests later on, but they don't get 1 point on the first quest. They all end up with 0.9 points. And 0.9 is because, there's a slight mismatch between what they printed and what is required. If they miss out the slash n, you're getting 0.1 point plus. Twice, right? So now go and drag that file in. X that, yeah, click the X. Now drag this file. You'll see more points, but it'll still not be, you'll succeed, but you won't get all the points, okay?
Mhm.
Click that. Now click that. Okay, there you go. Now you see 0.917. Now you succeeded and you got the password. You got the password for the next quest. But this didn't succeed because once it succeeded, you got 0.1 point, slightly less than 0.1.
Yeah.
Right. So let's go back and fix it. And now fix it according to what the quest spec requires you to do. Right. I think the quest spec tells you what you need to print. Right. I've forgotten. So you can look in the spec if you want and fix that. In fact, even better, why doesn't Chaitra not fix it? And she's going to act as a typist, which we do in CS2A, right? We have a student basically typing it out, and some other student has to call out the code. That means 2 people get to learn at the same time, right? So if someone else would like to say what the problem is and give us instructions, me and Chaitra, what to type or what to correct, we will actually do that and then submit that and see what happens. Okay? So it shouldn't just be the 2 of us. Why doesn't someone else take a stab at it? And you should feel bold, right? And say, is someone talking?
It's in the background. Don't worry. I'm mute for now.
Oh, all right. Yeah. All right. So can someone please, Chaitra, you can go to your code in Xcode, and someone can call out what change needs to happen there in order for this program to succeed. Okay? Can someone take a chance and say, in C++, I want the spec says, very first spec says what you have to print. Yeah or no? That's what you have to print. C out is what prints things out for us in C++. You'll read that in the first module. You just have to correct that. You have to correct that hello world to say what it should say. What it should say according to the spec. So what should it say according to the spec? And also, if you can tell Chaitra what to type there, we will complete it and submit it and see what the successful result is. And we'll also look at the second question if we have time. Okay. So can someone please tell Chaitra what to type there? Well, how to fix it? This is a chance, okay? Take a stab, because these are the chances you should jump for, right? And you don't get chances like this outside of class, right? And I know in many professional meetings, when there's a discussion, some of the junior members of the team, they're very silent, right? And they don't participate. And I always have to encourage them to say, no, you have to participate. It's okay to be wrong, right? Because it's not like you suggest, we have to format, these hard drives, and then, okay, well, let's go and format this drive. We don't do it like that, right? It's a beginner, and we know. And we say, well, yeah, okay, that's not the right thing to do. Let's try something else. And because everybody goes through those stages, right? And so you should feel free. And again, like I said, a large part of computer science is and programming is just getting inured to this false pain, okay? Because I wouldn't say if it's a real pain, feeling inured to it, well, maybe it's going to do internal damage, right? So I wouldn't say get inured to all real pain, but this thing here is a frustration, and frustration is a mental pain which is not real, okay? It is a false pain. It's an illusion. And the only way you can make it go away is by just facing it repeatedly. Just face it repeatedly, and you'll see that it'll just go away. Yeah? So you have to take every opportunity you get to put yourself out there and say, I'm going to take a guess. And maybe it's going to be wrong. Okay? And maybe it's going to be wrong 50 times out of 51 times. Or 90 times out of 100 in the first week, right? And you'll see that over, in week 12, maybe it's 10 times out of 100, right? These things improve. Most of us don't keep count, so we don't keep track, and we think that we're not improving. But if you keep count, you actually see you're improving. So that is the only way to feel, get inured to these. Otherwise, you're going to always say, oh, no, I can't do that because it may crash. It's painful, or it won't work. It won't compile. So I'm not even going to try that. I have seen so many students, right, who are afraid to try things because it'll break. That is the number one hurdle that we have to overcome, because things will break and we got to get used to it. Right? Break things and get used to it. And that way you won't feel so, hesitant to break things. Okay, so take a chance and say what needs to go there. Even if you don't know C++, that's fine. You can say, well, I think we can try this, right? Or you can even say in English, right? We need this to happen. This is what the Quest says should happen, and that's not happening. And how can we do this? You can ask a question, and one of us will chime in. Okay, so take this chance. This is an opportunity for you to chime in. Asanta?
It should follow with
Did you raise your hand?
yeah, it should follow with the new line character.
Yes,
Single
and
new
what
line
should the character be? Yes, go ahead and say what it is, and she'll type it in. What character should it be? Now, what character should it be? That is correct. What character should it be in line? I can tell you what it is, because this is not a simple character, especially for CS2A students. It is what is called an escape character. You want a new line. There's no one single character for a new line. In C++ and in many other languages, Java, Python also, new lines are given with an escape sequence. An escape sequence is a backslash that says, okay, in this string of characters, this backslash says, don't treat the next character literally. It's got a special meaning. So if I have a backslash followed by an N, that N does not stand for the letter N. Backslash N stands for a new line character. Okay? So we're going to say /N there. /N, backslash N. Okay? Now you can save this and submit it into the question system, and let's see what happens. Now, is everybody okay with this, right? The motion of creating a file. In fact, you'll be creating what? Did it work? Click the, yeah. Hey, there you go. All right, that's how you can't get more trophies on the first question. No, it's only one. Okay, so the second question will start getting more and more trophies. Okay, the first one, just hello world. Okay, so this is it. This is the entire loop, right? Creating files, dragging your files into the questing system, waiting for the result, and looking for the result. Okay, that's basically it. Now, let's go back to your code again. Text code at the very top of the file in the comments section. Right? Yeah, anywhere there. Say space, student space ID. Space, student space ID. Colon. And let's not use your student ID here. Just say Chaitra, Chaitra. You can put anything there, by the way, okay? You can, but I'm just using her first name. Now save it and submit it into the question system. All right. Now we have submitted a file, and one of those files had a student ID in it. So now we can go to your open another tab, and go to quest.nonlinearmedia.org. Yep. And then at the end, say /q. Okay. All right. Now type Chaitra. That is the ID you use, right?
Yeah. Also, I see.
There you go. All right. Now it says, that student ID has solved the first quest, and it got 1 trophy for it. Okay. So at any time, it's instantaneous. As soon as you submit it, you can go and check your score. Okay. And so this is how you do it. That's the entire process. You create a file, drop it in, and look at the score, the output, and then you can check your score on the site. Is everybody okay with this so far? Yeah. All right.
Do we have
unlimited?
Do we have unlimited attempts for this?
Unlimited attempts, yes. Okay. So you can quest as much as you want. You can tell your friends and your nephews and nieces and young ones and distant relatives in other countries. Everybody, all right? Tell them all to go and quest, and everybody can quest at the same time, any number of times. Okay, and so everything is permitted. The only thing that the participation points would assign a slight negative score to, right? Not huge, but it's still negative. Is what is called burst mode. That's the name I came up with. It's called burst mode. Jade, in 1 sec, okay? Jade, in 1 sec. I'll get you. Burst mode. Burst mode questing is when you won't do this now, but in a few quests, many students will be tempted to do that. You have a program and it doesn't work, okay? Or it almost works. This is usually the case. A program that almost works, but it doesn't pass some critical tests. And you have no idea why it doesn't pass. At that point, I have seen, because I know I look at the logs and I get alerts when people do this. And what I see students do is they'll make a minor change in the program with no idea what the change is going to do. They'll change a constant somewhere, 3 to 4. They'll change a string, ABC to XYZ. But they don't know if it's going to work or not. They're just going to try it and see if it works. So that is called shooting in the dark. Yes, basically trying things blindly to see if it works. Now, I have seen students succeed in questing using that approach. It is a very painful approach, takes a long time, and many times, 90% of the time, it won't work. Okay, 10% of the time, by luck, it may work. And if it works by luck, it's not going to succeed in the next quest. So that's a bad strategy overall. It's called burst mode questing, and I know that happens because when students do enter burst mode, what they do is submit something, and they look at the results. Didn't work. Okay, I'm going to change something. Submit again. Okay, and everything happens within 2 minutes. and so I look in the log when the alert comes to me, and says, I have one student. Even in anonymous mode, it doesn't matter because it checks by IP address and everything like that. Okay, so I look in the log and I see that one person has been submitting 80 or 90 times within an hour. Okay, 80 or 90 submissions within an hour, making minor changes here and there, and that indicates to me that person does not understand what's going on, right? Because the way to code or program, if something doesn't work, is to look at the code and look at what needs to get done and say, well, why is it not doing this? I'm going to try and figure it out. Follow the logic and say, well, all right, that's where it should be. That's the problem. I'm going to fix it. Okay. So thoughtful fixing, that will get you to the solution sooner than thoughtless fixing. Thoughtless fixing always ends in frustration. I can guarantee that. Okay. I can guarantee that people who do burst mode questing will usually get extremely frustrated and they'll drop the course or fail. Okay. That's the thing that's happened most commonly. So although you can quest as much as you want, I would discourage burst mode questing only for the purpose of it not being helpful to you in learning C++. Is that okay with you all? You can quest, by the way. Any amount of time, any number of times you can quest. Just keep it in mind that anytime you submit code, you are convinced reasonably as to why now this submission is going to work and why the previous one didn't work. Okay, that's the question you got to ask yourself every time you submit. You say, well, I made a change. And I think this will work and that won't work because of that change. Now, if you submit something with a random change and it happens to work, extremely unlucky. Okay, that means you're setting yourself up for failure because you didn't understand why it worked. And so whatever the problem was, you didn't know that problem. Basically, it was a problem that you basically covered over. Covered over. You didn't. It's an illusion. You pretended the problem didn't exist because it happened to work and you just moved on. That means the problem is still there. He's going to come and bite you big time later on. Okay. However, if you spend some time thinking about the problem and actually solve the bug before moving on, that problem will never come back to bite you because it knows I've been totally nixed by this person. If I go back to this person, he's going to kill me. Okay. That bug will not come and hit you if you actually find the bug and squish it, right? Rather than trying random things and shooting in the dark. Okay, now let's go back to the questing system and let's try the second quest. Okay, I think we'll try the second. I won't solve the second quest, but one of you can do it actually. One of you can do that. Right. Let's look at the results because it gave you the password for the second quest. Yes. You can click there again. No, you can. No. Yeah, click in the circle. Click in the circle. Oh, that's the spec. Where's the output? Yeah, no, actually click in the circle. Yeah, I saw it. So click on the circle again. Nothing happens when you click on the circle? No. You don't have to do that. Click on the circle. The previous one is still there. Click there. Nothing happens when you click on the circle? Oh, you must have reloaded the page, I think. All right, yeah, this is a resubmit. It's not letting you submit. What's going on here? Refresh the page. Maybe something is wacky. Yeah, so refresh page. Tag your name, Fangs. Yeah, now drag and drop. Oh, I think your internet connection it's not loading. It's not loading. Your Wi-Fi or something is playing up. Sometimes if you just, stop your Wi-Fi and restart it, it will pick up again. Stop your Wi-Fi and restart it. Yeah, cancel that. And oh, it loaded now. It loaded now. Okay. Now, yeah, click. Yeah. Now, there you go. That's your password for the second quest. Okay. A joke loving Jay. Right now, if you go back to the questing system, you should be able to. Now, click on the home icon. It'll take you to the home page. Now you can type, I think, a joke loving Jay. All right. Now, this is your second quest. Now, you hit enter. Now, you can also click on the circle to look at the spec. You can click on the circle itself, right? On the big circle itself, right? That's a spec, and that tells you what needs to get done for the second blue quest, right? And if you guys like, I can leave. Well, I can hang around, obviously. I can wait for you guys to solve this on screen. It doesn't have to be Chaitra. Someone else can take the screen and code if you like. But I understand that most of you are CS2A, which means that you don't have, you haven't yet covered the material required in order to be able to do quest 2. Yeah. So unless you feel particularly compelled to do it, you don't have to do it. We've gone over the essential loop, which is basically creating a file, dropping it in there, looking at the results, and getting a score. All of that is done. The rest of it is going to be pretty straightforward, and we'll talk about that in class. On Thursday, we won't do any coding, okay? Thursday is only going to be data representation, mathematics. Next Tuesday onwards, we will do coding. And like today, someone will pick up the screen and we'll basically say, oh, here's a small, nice little problem. Let's code it on screen and try and run it, right? We have a lot of examples like that on our YouTube channel from previous quarter students. You can go and watch them. Some of them are really, really interesting too, because we had some interesting projects. These projects, they come up with from you guys. These are not projects that I chose. We talk like this, and in the course of our conversation, someone comes up with a brilliant idea, and says, and I think, hey, that's a really nice idea, and it will be a very good thing for us to work on because it doesn't involve, concepts down the line, and we actually work on that in class. So many of those we actually worked on, and they're on our YouTube channel, so you can go and look at it. So we won't do the second quest right now unless you guys are absolutely interested, but we will get a chance, right? In week 3, we get a chance. On Tuesday, we will start coding in earnest, C++. And you already know, you created the first program. I don't expect you to understand the first program because we haven't talked about programming yet. We will start talking about programming on Tuesday. But even before we start talking about programming, now you already have the hang of creating a file using Xcode, VS Code, and things like that, and dragging and dropping and looking at the results. This is the most important thing. And so we're already there. I want you all to feel utterly comfortable with programming in general, okay? And also coming to class, you can cut class, okay? For online students, we have a different way in which they can earn participation points. But for students who are in the sync section, they have to attend class for at least half of the participation points and also volunteer to code like Chaitra did today, right? Every time you volunteer to code, you basically seal in your participation points for that week. And you don't have to, but essentially, obviously you should do more also, but participating to code like this is hugely valuable for your points. So, and we will do that increasingly in class. So make it a point to attend every class. Don't cut any class. And also, if you're enrolled in more than 20 units, you got to be aware that this is going to be really challenging. If you're under 20 minutes, 16 is, I think, 15 to 16, I think would be good if you're doing this course, because this does require a lot of time. You've got to be thinking about programming every single day, right? You don't have to be coding every single day. C++ and 2E and 2C, they got to be coding every single day. 2A, you don't have to code every single day, but you got to be thinking about it. You got to code at least twice a day, twice a week, but you got to be thinking about programming every single day. And saying, hey, I want to do that, and also be intrigued and look at, flip through books or online to see what people are doing, and this is what code looks like. Just get familiar with what C++ programs look like, and that'll all go a long way, right? Even though we feel that it's not relevant to us right now, it's there in the back of your mind. And when we actually talk about this concept, they'll come back, and you'll feel that you'll have this feeling of deja vu. Hey, you know what? many weeks ago, I read that and it didn't make any sense. And I'm glad, because now we're talking about that and I can recall all of that. So all of that is very helpful and useful. So I hope that this was a useful exercise today in getting you all onboarded to the system. And I'd like all of you to attend class every single time, okay? And cutting class is the #1 reason for dropping or failing. If you don't cut class for the first 6 weeks, okay, first 6 weeks, I guarantee, well, I can guarantee, right, high degree of confidence that for the next 6 weeks, week 7 to week 12, you will not want to cut class. In fact, it'll be easy for you to attend class and do things. But if you cut class in the first 6 weeks, it'll be super hard for you not to cut class in the second 6 weeks. Okay, because first 6 weeks, if you cut class, you will be out of your depth. Yeah, even if you attend class after that, most of the lectures you won't understand anything, right? It'll be 2 hours wasted every class. So all I'm asking, first 6 weeks, just apply yourself, attend every class, and do coding, and try to understand these things. The second 6 weeks will actually be easy and it'll fly past. And icing on the cake is that all of the blue quests, I don't know how many of you are planning to major in computer science or data engineering or data science or machine learning or gaming and things like that, especially computer science, right? So if you're planning to major in computer science, you're obviously planning to do CS2B and CS2C also, right? How many of you are planning to do CS2B? So there's a few of you. Great. I'm happy, because if you're going to be doing CS2B, every quest you do here gives you class credit for your grade in CS2B, right? All the blue quests have points towards your grade in CS2B. In CS2B, you got to do the green quest, but you get 10 points for all the blue quests, okay? Which is like almost an assignment in itself. So you get points. If you solve all the blue quests in CS2A, you can enter CS2B already with some points, when many students are just enrolling fresh, and they have, and the students who are enrolling in my 2B fresh, they have to do the 2A quest anyway, right? Because it's 10 points, right? They got to do the blue quest to get those 10 points. And they got to do all of that in 1 week, right? In 2B, you only get 1 week to do all of the 9 quests. Now, here's a strange thing, okay? In 2A, you get 3 months, right? 12 weeks to do these 9 quests, yes? And as you're doing the quest, you're thinking, oh my gosh, this quest took me like 2 days. That one took me like 5 days, and I was banging my head on a wall. And there's no way I can do these quests any faster. All right, it's very natural that you start thinking like that. But the funny thing is, each quest is designed in such a way, I think, that when you finish the quest, the next time you do it, or even a similar problem, it won't take you that long. You can actually just zip through it. And therefore, when you get to 2B, you only get 1 week to solve all of the 9 quests. And people say, oh my gosh, I took 3 months in 2A. How can I do all of it in 1 week? But first of all, you won't have to, because you've already done it. In 2A, you've done it, and you can take the same code and you get 10 points for it, right? But even if you've done 2A elsewhere, in a different college, different institution, and you get into my 2B, and you still have to do all 9 2A quests, all 9 blue quests in the first week, in 7 days, that is a realistic challenge. Because when you finish CS2A, it's not like you've mastered 3 months of material. You've basically gotten to a stage where you can solve the entire 2A system, all of the quests. Any problem that is 2A level, you should be able to solve it like that. It'll take you more than, but by the time you're in 2C, my 2C students only get 2 days to complete all of the blue quests. Okay, and you may think there's no way I can complete all these quests in 2 days, but you'll be surprised. And in fact, you should come back. When you're doing my 2C, you should come back and comment in the forum on Reddit for my junior students saying, hey, when I was doing 2A like you guys, poor sod, I thought I was never going to be able to complete all of that in 2 days. But here I am in 2C, and I started yesterday and I'm done. Okay, and you'll be able to say that confidently because that's programming, right? Programming is like swimming, right? It's the first time you think I'm never going to be able to swim the 50 meters, right? I'm going to be stop in the middle and gasp for breath. But after a while, you're going to say, wow, that's water. I'm just going to cross this body of water and go on the other side. Yeah, and you don't even think about it. You just jump in there, and it won't take you any time at all, and you'll be totally surprised. And you can tell, and help me out by making a comment in 6 months. In 6 months, make a comment in the forum, in the 2A forum. Come back to the blue forum and make a comment to my 2A students saying, I was in your shoes, and now I'm in 2C, and I can do all 9 quests in 2 days. In fact, I just did it, 2 days ago in order to get points because I lost my old source code, right? And I did all of that in 2 days. And those people will be, oh, great. I'm so glad to hear that because that was one of us. And they're now doing this in 2 days. And it'll be fun. I can guarantee. Okay. And if you stick with this, I will see you through and hopefully, it's too early for now. But in 2C, for 2C students who complete all 9 quests successfully and ace things, I'm happy to, if you don't get any good internships elsewhere, I'm happy to give you a summer. I'm thinking about offering a summer internship for in nonlinear media on an interesting project of some kind, maybe data visualization or data engineering project using C++. If you complete my CS2C, maybe we can do a summer internship along those lines, which gives you further opportunities to, sharpen and enrich your C++ skills. So was this class useful? I know Chaitra found it useful because she was typing, right? And Pedro raised his hand, and I think one more person also raised their hand before. Yeah, I think Kyra raised your hand, right? Yes? So, all right, Nate, all of you. That's fantastic. I'm happy. Did anyone not get any value from this class? Because if you didn't, it's okay. You can reach out to me, and we'll find another way of helping you out. But I want to make sure that what we're doing is, somewhat aligned with what you guys need. Yeah. So that I'm not talking about something that is totally irrelevant to you, because I do have a habit of going off on a tangent. Okay. I have a habit of going off on a tangent when I'm talking about something interesting. I may talk about that for like 5 minutes when something else needs to be talked about. So I need you guys to rein me back in and say, hey, enough, bullshit. Come back and talk to us about C++. Okay. So I'm happy for you to tell me that, and in fact, rely on you in many cases. But that's where we are. And feel free to tell me if you need anything extra, and we'll try, or change ways of presenting material too, right? And if you feel that a certain explanation was not presented the right way, send me an email, right? And saying that, hey, Anand, this bit here that you talked about, I thought was a little bit confusing. Can you explain that better? And I will explain that better in an email to you, and also make it a point to explain that better in a follow-up lecture to the other students. So all of those are ways in which you can help me, not only to elucidate material better to you, but also to refine the way in which I say something for future students down the line. So that every time, because it's not just a one-way street. Because you learn C++, but in the process, I also learn what are the best ways of presenting this material, that material, because different students are different, and the way to converge on the common denominator is by just listening to you. And if you guys keep telling me this, and lots of people tell me this is the way this should be taught, I'll basically change slowly, right? And say this, I'll do it that way, and more students will get engaged and be interested in and things like that. Okay, I'm very pleased, and I hope to see all of you just march forward on the C++ track with me, right? Do 2B and 2C, and I'll see you all the way through. And every time also I'll try and make sure that you're not just getting a piece of paper at the end and saying, oh, you got a 2A, 2B, 2C, you can now go on to do something else. No, I'll make sure that you're actually getting something valuable out of it, because at the end of the day, that's the thing, right? A transcript, if you get a transcript that says you pass these classes, it can give you food and water, or it can give you a life, but it is still dependent on the transcript being recognized and honored by someone else. You got to take the transcript and go to someone and say, give me a job because I need money to buy milk and bread, but here's my transcript. Okay, so you're depending on the transcript. However, if you actually don't go for the transcript, if you go for the skill itself, right? The skill, if you learn the skill, you're not dependent on anyone else, because you don't have to go and say, well, here's my skill, give me a job. You can just use a skill and create something and sell it, and people will come and use it, and you got your money right there. So you're not dependent on anyone. So that is the whole point with learning these skills, is to basically set yourself up for success in life. Even if nobody helps you, you can help yourself. And these are the essential skills. And this is a great skill to have. Programming is a great skill to have, unlike many other skills, right? Because you can go and learn, acting or ceramics, many skills, right? There are many skills, but many of these skills take a lot of money and time, and even entertainment, right? Even if I want to go skiing, it costs a lot of money and effort and pain and snow, and it's cold in the snow and all, right? But programming is something you can basically do on a beach, on your even on your phone. I wouldn't recommend doing it on your phone, but you can do it anywhere you want. You can go to a library. You don't have to invest anything, and it's all free, right? All you need is a laptop or a computer in a library and an internet connection, and you can just basically code, right? Everything is out there free. So very low barrier. That's why it is the best skill to pick up for people that are, I think, financially disadvantaged. Let's put it that way, right? Financially disadvantaged, meaning that the best thing to do is learn skills. And here's a skill that will both give you a life skill as well as a piece of paper as a backup. If you say I can't use a skill to make something and sell, you can still use a piece of paper to say, all right, hire me. Okay, so or go on to a higher institution and say, well, I've cleared this, I want to get this degree, whatever it is. So so I'm at the end of the day, I'm basically just glad to see all of you guys. I'm very happy, and I can see that you're all motivated and interested in learning, and I will try my best to make sure, because what I try and do is I try and see that as many students in my 2A as possible. I want to see them go on to 2B, and then eventually 2C, because I think not just me, I think it's all professors, right? They get a little bit of a kick out of seeing students succeed in one class, okay? But they get an order of magnitude more kick if they see the same student go on to the next class and succeed there too. And then if you succeed in the even a higher follow-up class, that is like, made their day essentially, because that shows that a student is really committed and they are very likely to make a change in the whole world, right? They can go and make something that is going to change the way that we live, right? Because every little thing that you pick up is going to be hugely useful. All right, so I don't want to keep blabbering on and on anymore. Chaitra, thank you so much for picking up the screen, right? and hopefully someone else will also volunteer. Well, everybody will get a chance. I obviously, Chaitra, I'll use you as a backup. If nobody picks up a screen in a class, I'll request you. But usually that's not the case. I want everybody to get a chance. Everybody, I want you to get a chance to code on screen. When you code on screen, like today, you don't have to know anything at all, okay? Because either me or someone else will call out the code letter by letter, okay? Open brace, space, right? C, C-O-U-T, everything will be called out. And what happens, I've found in CS2A, is that many times in CS2A, we get total newbies, right? Who have no exposure to programming. And the programming, and I call them and say, you're going to type today, right? And they're typing, and during the first class, even during the first class, actually, I see when they're typing, they're waiting for me to speak each letter before they type, space, and they hit the space, C, and then I hit C, right? And doing that, and then something miraculous happens. Okay, even they don't see it, and but yeah, I see it because I've seen it so many times. But maybe the first few times I didn't see it. After a while, now you can see it. You can see it, right? You keep an eye out for this. As they're typing, as you'll see that maybe after 30 or 40 minutes, they're not waiting for me anymore, right? They're typing ahead. And by the time we get to lecture 8, week 8 or week 9, people who are typing, they're probably typing a couple of statements ahead, right? I'm saying type this, and and they don't even wait. They just bam, 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 bam. They're typing this, and in fact, sometimes the other students are telling them, do this, and the program is just growing on its own. It's just flowing, and I don't have to do it anymore. So it's just like when my daughter was learning to drive a bicycle, you have to hold it from the behind, and you make sure she doesn't fall off for a while. But after a while, you let go, and she doesn't know, right? She's just riding on her own. Look back, and I'm not there. And that happens in programming too. And so initially, I'll basically be calling out letter by letter, and you'll find that even without your knowledge, most of the time it's without the knowledge of the person who's actually typing, right? Because the person who's actually typing is not aware, but other people can see it, right? They can see that they're not waiting for Anand anymore. They're basically typing ahead, right? When that happens, you're basically that is I don't know, that is one of the, I think, turning points when you've gotten comfortable coding, because learning to code or even getting into programming, I think, is largely a matter of fear and comfort. Most people don't get into programming because they're afraid of it for all the wrong reasons, because programming is actually very easy, right? But I should say easy, because when you get to the real juicy parts of it, the basic programming, which is easy, will disappear, and the challenging part, which is not to do with programming at all, it is to do with thinking and logic and how problems are solved in our own mental mush, not even in English, right? That takes center stage. That becomes the core of programming, and this becomes really, really easy after that. And that's the part we want to get to. We want to get to the part where we can just walk or run unthinkingly, so that we can think about other things while we're walking. So you want to be thinking about the problem, or thinking about the logic and solving problems while you're actually typing C++ code, and not thinking about, oh, should I have a plus here, or a brace there, or a parenthesis here? That will basically, that's an help for programming. You shouldn't be thinking about the syntax. It is exactly the same as if you're talking in English or Chinese or a language. You're not thinking about what you're talking, what you need to convey, but actually about the mechanics of the language itself, right? Am I grammatically correct? Because that's I've noticed that it is fear. Many times I have students from other countries, right? From other countries where English is not the native language, right? From mainland China, and they've grown up speaking Mandarin or Taiwanese all their life, and they've just come to the US for this class. And in class, they are very fearful to participate, because their language skills are not there. And every time they want to ask a question, they got to think in Chinese first, and then translate that thought to English and verify that in English in their head first, and then speak it, because they are afraid that if they speak it incorrectly, everybody else will think they're a fool, right? Now, first of all, that is a wrong notion, and I think it is due to Mark Twain. Is it Mark Twain? He's the one who said, it is better to be silent and taught. It is better to keep your mouth shut and be taught a fool than to open it and remove all doubt, right? So he said that, and I think it is very witty but a stupid statement to make, because it is hugely disadvantageous for students to believe that, right? Because students say, I don't want to ask questions, because if I ask a question, people will think I'm a dumb guy. I don't know, right? And so they don't ask questions. And especially so for foreign language speakers, right? They're hesitant to ask questions, because not only are they worried that the concept might be incorrect, they got a second degree worry that, oh, the way I phrase it might be non-native or bad. So get rid of both of those worries, okay? They're both completely false, illusionary worries, okay? They don't exist. We just see them and you just have to dispel that veil of Maya right there and see there is no problem. I can just see right through. And if you see that, you can just feel free to be bold, ask questions. Doesn't matter if you're wrong, because that's the only way we can get ahead. And yeah, I don't know how we got started talking about that, but be bold and ask questions and participate in class. And I think we will all have a great time. And I can see that you're all very enthusiastic and lively. So that is the most important part. Most important requirement in programming is to just be engaged and interested in what you're doing, okay, and which you all are. So I'm very pleased about that. So I hope nobody drops this class, okay? And I hope that all of you continue to come, and it will be worthwhile. I think, I'm pretty sure. And don't think it's going to be challenging. It is actually quite easy to learn the basics of programming. Okay, when you get to the advanced stages, like I said, it's going to be like math, proofs, and things like that. But early stages is just basic programming, is just syntax, just learning the language, and it's not even complex language like English, right? If you want to learn English or Chinese or some human language, it's going to be really hard because of grammar and so many things that have to be tied in. Here, the grammar is very simple in C++. You can actually learn it in a week. Okay, most of the time is just getting used to it, because there are lots of constructs in C++. You have to get used to it by using them repeatedly. Use it in different contexts, and you'll see how it works. Okay, so it's just exposure. Repeated exposure will get rid of the fear component. And what was the other component? I said two things keep people from learning. One of them was a fear, and the other, I don't know. One was a fear, and the oh geez, I totally forgot. I had two really good, strong reasons for why students drop out, but maybe it'll come to me later. Okay, but so far, if you guys are happy with the class and how it's going, we can call it a day. And I will look forward to seeing all of you on Thursday. Well, most of you on all of you 2A, right? How many 2C students are here? Please raise your hand if you're a 2C student. Wow, no 2C students. Yeah, that's incredible, right? In fact, this whole class was arranged by 2 students who wanted to get to know how to get started with questing, but they are not here. But hopefully they'll watch the video. All right. Thank you all so much for your patience with me, sticking around and listening to me blabber away. So, and I will see you all on Thursday, and we'll do data representation, which is basically just going to be working through numbers on a piece of paper. Before that, read module 0, attempt the data representation quiz, and also convert your names to base 27. There is a challenge in the data representation, module 0. Convert your names. Yes. Oh, Jaden, I promised I'll get to you, and I never did. I'm so sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, what apps, programs, or websites are acceptable for creating this code and converting it to files, and so we can do the questing?
Yeah. Are you a Mac person or a Windows machine? Do you have a Mac or a Windows?
I'm on Mac.
Mac, okay. So if you have a Mac, I would basically recommend Xcode for now, right? VS Code is available for Mac too. Many people have downloaded and used VS Code, but there is a program called Xcode, which is part of the Apple ecosystem. It comes with Apple and it's free. So if you go to the App Store on your Mac, search for Xcode, download it and install it, and that will let you create programs just like Chaitra just did. Was that the question you asked, Jaden? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so just use that. Just use Xcode on a Mac. On a Windows machine, use VS Code. Okay. You can Google download and install VS Code. There's a ton of videos. It's very easy. 10 minutes. Bam, you got a working VS Code on your Windows machine. After that, it will be set. Yeah. All right. Thank you all so much for attending this class, even though it was at 7 p.m. and all after hours. Thank you all for attending and your patience with me. I will see you on Tuesday. Okay. Any other questions? Anything else you'd like to ask? Oh, Pedro asked a question. I don't have a mic. Hasn't come in the mail. Oh, that's I guess that's been answered, right? Pedro, I've answered your question. Yes. Jason, I didn't say anything. Jision,
have
are
a
you
quick
asking about
question.
CS2A or CS2B? Oh, one sec, Nathan. Hey, Jision, your question in chat, was this about 2A or 2C? You're 2A, right? Yes, yes. If it is 2A, this is a perfect class for you. Don't drop, okay? First few weeks, they look intimidating and hard because you've never done CS before. Stick with it. And we'll help you. We'll find tutors and there's classmates to help you. But once you get past the first 4 weeks, which is hard, everything else will be so easy. Okay? Just you have to make up your mind and say, even though everything looks absolutely abysmal, I'm going to stick with it for 4 weeks. Okay? And you'll be good. Nathan, you had a question too, right?
Yes, sir. So Monday through Friday, I work out of a data center between hours now 8 to 5. So I don't know if I'm able to.
Yeah. So I see. You can watch the lecture from your data center. Okay. All right. So there's another student who had the similar situation. If you cannot attend class, you can be treated as an online student. However, the online students have a different way of fulfilling their participation requirement, right? You have, I think, there is the forum contribution, and then there's a lecture attendance and participation. So if you're not attending lectures, your forum participation has to be much higher. Basically helping other people out and, posting, asking questions or saying, if you're stuck, try this and so on and so forth. Those are things that people say in the forums. So you need to be more active there and we'll take care of that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And you're obviously welcome to attend lectures anytime you have time off from your data center or anything.
Yeah, we're down a couple of guys, so.
Oh, you're just a couple of guys?
Yeah, we're down.
Maybe you can sneak a laptop in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Jaden, you got another question?
Actually, yeah. So through the syllabus, I couldn't actually, for some reason, the link to the subreddit or the forum wasn't working. So I was wondering how I can get access to that forum or subreddit.
No, I don't think so. So you're saying the syllabus, the link to the subreddit from the syllabus doesn't work?
I keep clicking on it and nothing happens. It doesn't take me anywhere.
Wow. Okay. Can you share your screen and see and show it to me? Because I've never seen it. I want to see. If it happens, I'll just fix it in the next 10 minutes.
Okay.
Is it possible to share your screen?
Yeah, it's possible.
Did anyone else have the same problem where you were not able to access the syllabus? The question system from here. Yeah.
So
further down, I think. Further down.
Yeah.
Maybe page 3. You should just subreddit it somewhere. There you go. Yeah, I saw it up there. Further up. Up. You see the No, I think we. I'm sorry. Down. I think we patched it. There. Stop. Yeah. Click that. Wow. All right. Click that up on the title bar where it says CS2A Spring 22 syllabus. There. Click that. No, not that. Even that works. That's fine. Now go to the same place. Yeah. Click that.
Oh, okay. Now it's working.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't know that, Jaden. Canvas is playing. there are lots of unpleasant surprises for me in Canvas like this because I just discovered some other things that weren't working like I expected.
Okay.
Yeah, it's blocking external links in PDF documents.
Okay, so I just create an account and then log up into this one.
Yeah, just set up an account. You have your name should be Jaden_R and then some number.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you all. You have another question, Nathan, or are you good? Nathan is good. All right. Okay. I will see you guys on Thursday, most of you, except Nathan. And thank you. Bye.